Hey guys, welcome to YouTube live session of Great Learning. Today we are going to discuss about C programming language, which is for beginners. All those of who you are freshers and you are stepping in the world of coding or you're looking for job opportunities and you want to learn coding. So this is the best session for you because in this session I'll be taking you through all the basic and introductory concepts of programming. Let it be any programming language. C programming language is meant to be the basic concepts, when you start with your coding journey, right? So if you're a fresher, you must be knowing that in our engineering colleges or anywhere, the coding subject will be C programming language and C++, right? So that is why we came up with this particular course here. It's an half an hour basic concept clearance session in which I'll be clearing all your doubts and also your particular basic concepts. So let's begin with the agenda. First of all, let's see what all things I'll be covering here. And the very first thing is nothing but introduction. That means who developed C programming language and what is the most basic key terminologies which is used in coding. Then we will see the syntax. Syntax means how to actually write a proper code, and then we'll look through the comments, and then we'll see the tokens, the variables, user input output, data types, strings, math library, and boolean. Meanwhile, you can please give me in the chat if you can hear me and you can see the screen. Just give a yes or no. And let's begin with the first topic in the agenda, which is introduction. So first of all, let's see who developed C language. So it's Dennis Ritchie. And yes, it is very important to know the name of the person or know the name of the founder of that particular language because it will help you in the future. And because you will be learning this language for ample amount of time. And the second point is robust low-level programming language. So robust means it's nothing but error-free. So if you come up through any programming language right now, Java and Python are most in demand, right? When it comes to IT and software field. So those are also error-free programming language. And at that time, when C programming language came into the market, it was an error-free program. Python is the most demanded and mostly there are no errors when you write Python programming language, right? Now, coming to the third point is procedural language, which follows its structure. Now, before explaining this particular line, I will explain you the two concepts which is there in our coding concepts. So first one is procedure-oriented programming languages, and another one is object-oriented programming languages. Now, there are some programming language which only accepts procedure oriented. That means step by step procedure execution. So suppose you write a code and the first line will be executed first, and then the second, then the third, then the fourth. The line by line, step by step execution will happen. But there are some programming languages in which this particular method is not there. In those particular languages, we use functions or we use objects to make the execution proper. Okay, so C language basically follows procedure oriented programming concepts, but C++ or Java or Python, those programming languages accepts object oriented programming concepts, which is also called as OOPS concepts, right? And these two concepts and paradigm are very much popular. So if you're moving into the world of coding, you should understand these two paradigms or concepts. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now, what about the fourth point? Suppose various operating systems. See, I have Windows, so I can write my C programming language in Windows operating system and it'll work fine. What if I write the same code in Linux, Unix, or MacBook? Will it work? Yes, it will work. Okay, so C programming language is can be run in various operating systems and hardware platforms. That is what the fourth line meant. Now, the fifth one. Now, in fifth line, if you guys can read, there is one word which is very common to use when you are, writing a programming language. That is compiler or compiling or compilation time, right? Or compile time. What is this compile meaning, right? Let's understand. Now see, all the machines, or you can say the systems, can only understand one language, which is binary language, 0 or 1. Okay, they can only understand 0 and 1. So whatever you are giving it to the computer, they are first converting it into binary coding. Let me give you an example. Let's suppose when you open a calculator, you type there 4 plus 3, right? Now computer is not understanding what you're writing. Computer will only understand when they're converting that 4 plus 3 into a binary coding, and that binary coding the computer is understanding and then processing it. So he converts 4 into binary, plus into binary, 3 into binary, and then adds both of them and then gets the result in binary. And when it showed us to us, it is showing it in number format. So then only we get to know that 7 is the answer. Same thing happens in programming languages. When we write a programming language and give it to the compiler, compiler actually converts that programming language into binary coding. Now it will not be a very simple or a very normal binary coding, right? Because the program is very big. Even if it's a 5 line, then binary coding will be very big, right? So it is called as binary coding file, or you can say bytecode file. A very easy term is bytecode. So compiler converts your programming language or programming, whatever program you have written, into bytecode, and then bytecode is understood by machines, and then they process it. Okay, and then only they give the output to you. So what does compiler do? Compiler actually first checks the code, checks the error, if there is any error or not. If there is no error, they convert it into binary coding file, which is bytecode, and then computer processes it. Okay. Now, if you see the sixth point, which is executable creation from a C program, is a two-step process. First one is compilation, which I've already explained you. Second one is linking. Now, what is this linking? See, you will not be writing only one code, right? You'll be writing a maybe 5 to 6 codes or hundreds of codes together, right? All the codes has to be converted into a binary coding file, which is, bytecode. Now all these bytecodes has to be linked to each other. These are not separate or individual. These has to be linked to each other so that processing it will be easy for the system, right? Suppose, one by one bytecode is coming to the system and processing it. It'll take a long time for the system to process, right? It will take a larger time. But when all the bytecodes are linked together and then I'm giving it to the system will not take much time to process it, right? Because he knows that what he has to do now. He has a lot of work to do, correct? So that linking is done by a linker, okay? And that is why it's a linking word come in. Now these all things are imaginary, whatever I said, like this will go there, then it will convert, then computer will understand. These all are things are imaginary, but it is happening in the internal memory or inside the system. This is what is happening, right? Now moving to the C programming syntax, like what are the basic things to write a programming language? And if we don't write that, then what will happen? So very first thing is this preprocessor directive. Now what is this preprocessor directive? Let's understand. Okay, guys, please, if you're liking the session, then please hit like and subscribe to Great Learning channel. And also, if you have any questions regarding this, please put it down in the comment box. I'll read that and I'll answer it as soon as possible. Right? So please hit like, and let's continue with this particular section, which is preprocessor directive, right? So let's understand what is this. Now, whenever we write a code, we can't write in very simple language like English language, right? We have to write some with words, some keywords, or some words which is given by a C programming language. We can't write in our own. We can't write that now you have to print hello world, or now you have to terminate this code. We can't write like that, right? There are some words or there are some commands which has given to us. We can only use that. Now, before using those things, we have to ask permission. we have to ask permission, we have to ask access from the C programming language, right? Now, all these words which are given by C programming, like main method, you can see here, main method, printf, getch, these all are given by C programming language, right? Now, all these things are kept in a container, or we can say a memory box or a package, or a package in which all these words are kept. Okay. Now, if I have to get access of that package, I have to include that. So that's why I'm writing here hash include, because I have to include that package in my program. So I'm writing hash include, and then I'm writing stdio.h. Now, what is that? Standard input output dot header file. That particular package name is standard input header file. So it is called as header files. All those are nothing but the header files. Now there are several header files: standard input output, conio.h, math.h. There are math header files, iostream.h, right? Input output stream header file. So there are several header files which we can use in our code, and we have to first include it. Then only we can use it. That is what is called as preprocessor directive. Now that we have included the header file, now we can use all the commands which C programming language is given me, which is main method, printf, getch. If you will not include the header file, then compiler will not be able to understand what you're writing, right? So let's then again go back to the next statement, which is void main. Now, what is this void main? In a human being, we have the heart and the brain, which is our main functionality, right? If those things are not there, we won't be able to walk or even stand, right? So those are our starting point of execution, we can say, right? If you want to survive, you have your heart and your brain should be working. It should be in working condition, right? So those are our starting point of execution. Same thing happens here. Our main method is a starting point of execution. So if you're writing the main method, that is the starting point of execution of a program. So once you compile your program, the compiler goes directly to this main function and starts executing it. How? Line by line, step by step. Remember I told you? So in the main method, I have written void in a blue color. What is this void? Void is valueless data type. Okay. That means it does not return anything. So if I'm writing void main, that function should not return anything. Why I'm indicating like this? Because you can see a bracket there. Can you see the curly brackets? The open curly bracket, the closed curly bracket. That is one block. That's one method. That's one function. So void is valueless data type, which means it will not return any value. So when you don't want to return any value, we write void, right? When you want to return any value, we will write another data types. Those are integer, string, character, those things. But that we will discuss later on. Right now, you have to just understand void is valueless. And then in the bracket, what I've written, printf statement, which is for printing anything, and getch is for terminating. What is the meaning of getch? Get any character. So if you press any character, the code will get terminated. That means terminated means over. The code is over. Now it will not do anything. So once the hello world is getting printed in the output console, once you press any character from the keyboard, the code will get terminated. Okay. These are the basic things which is must to write in a C programming language. Okay. How many preprocessor directives are there? Like, okay, so there is no count. If you have to count, then there are so many, but don't go much deeper inside that. You have to understand the basic and the common ones, which are stdio.h, math.h, conio.h. In C++ also we have iostream.h. So these are the common ones which you should know basically. Is it possible to learn C or other language without IT degree or without programming background? Yes, you can learn C programming language without IT degree or without programming background. That is what is our motto. So, just please go to the Great Learning Academy. Have a look what all courses we have in, for free. So you can just go there and search for C programming language. You'll find data structure in C and you'll find C programming in Hindi. I can see a lot of people are saying that please explain it in Hindi. So go to Great Learning Academy. You will find the courses available in Hindi for C programming language. The links are given in the description below also. If you go to the description, you can find some links. Click on that and you will be getting that particular course. So just go there, see the syllabus, and you'll be able to understand. If you don't have an IT degree, there is no problem. The knowledge is most important. So first of all, please learn C language. Try to begin with the C language. 10th and kids and 10th class students are also learning C language right now. Yes. So yes, it is not important to have a degree, to learn any coding language. Okay. Any more question? Show the program by practically using any online compiler so that we could understand easily. Yes, we have shown it in the courses itself. It is there. Right now it's in half an hour session. So we are not doing that. Okay, one very good question I can see here. Sir, can we write main method in capital M? Guys, C programming language is case sensitive, okay? That means you can't change the words in uppercase or lowercase. How C commands have told us that you can use in this manner, you have to use in that manner only. So no, you can't make your main M capital M, because otherwise it will not be taken as a main method. It will be taken as something else and it will give you an error, right? So you can't change something. If suppose they have data types like integer, string, and other data types, you have to write it in the same manner. You can't write it in capital letters or something. Hash include stdout. You can't write everything in capital letters. You have to write it in small letters only. That is what is called as case sensitive. So there are some programming languages which are case sensitive and there are some programming languages which are case insensitive. So if you're a beginner, please strictly, read the rules first and then start learning about that programming language. If you'll do a very small mistake, even a semicolon, if you'll miss, then your program will not work. Okay, fine. So let's move to the next topic, which is comments. Now, see, I know C language. So if I write a code and if I give it to you, to any fresher or to any beginner, they will not understand the code because I have written only the code and they will not be able to understand what I have written there, right? A curly bracket, a semicolon, what is this thing? You will not be able to understand. So what people do, we actually can give a description or an information in that code itself. Those are called as comments. So comments are not actually codes. Comments are something which is, a description or an information to you guys, to understand that what I have written. Now, suppose I've written a code, void main, and beside void main, I'm writing a comment that this main function is nothing but a starting point of execution. From here only the execution will start. If I will write that beside void main, you will be able to understand, right, what I have written. So those are called as comments, and there is an indication how we can write the comments. So comments are lines ignored by the compiler. This is not a code. The compiler will totally ignore it. This is used to make notes or, to give some description, to give some information to the user. And there are two types of comments which we can give. One is single line comment and one is multi-line comment. Single line comment, we use double slash. So if I'm writing void main, I have to write double slash. This is the main method function. So this is the main method function, which is not a code. It's a comment. Multi-line, we have to use slash star and then write whatever you want to write. And then again, in the end, you have to put star slash. One example I have shown here. So if you can see, name hello world author great learning. That's not a code. I don't want to write that in my coding language. It's just for you guys that I have written this. That name of the file is hello world and author is great learning. So I've given a comment there, slash star star slash, because it's multi-line. There are 2 lines. But if you look down, the green colors, preprocessor directive, main function, print function, those are single line comments. So I've only kept double slash. Okay, sir, we are beginners. Please go somewhat slow. Okay, so uh, I am going slow. That's okay. Sir, are these processor directives similar to Python libraries like Pandas and NumPy? Yes, you can say that, Mayuk Chatterjee. Basically, every language is having some packages. If you see for Java, we have packages like java.util, java.lang, right? In Python also we have some modules. We call it as modules there. Only the names are different, but the meaning and the mentality is same, right? It's the same thing. It does the same thing. Every language is having some packages or some modules kept, and you have to use that. It's a fact, right? If you'll not use that, then how you'll write the program, right? So every programming language is having some uh, you know packages or some modules or some predefined keywords, something like that. Now the very most important thing, whatever words I was using here, keywords like predefined words, we will see what is this. So that is called as tokens. Let's see what are the different tokens in any programming language, not only C programming language but any programming language. So if you have seen, I have written a code void main, right? And then printf get ch. Now this void main, I told you that this is a main method. That means name of the method is main and it's permanent. You can't change it. You have to write main only. But can we create our own methods also? Yes, we can create our own methods also. We can create like void show, void display, void x, void y. We can create. There's no problem. I'm saying that void main must be there. I'm not saying that other functions can't be there or other methods can't be there. It can be there. We can create a user defined methods too, right? Those user defined methods, which I'm saying like void show, void display, I have given a user defined name, right? Show, display. C programming language has never told me that you have to write show, you have to write display. No, I can mention anything. That is my opinion. I can give any name. Those are called as identifiers. The names which you are giving, the names which you have thought about and you have taken, those are called as identifiers. So if you can see here, I've written identifiers, user defined names or abbreviations. Those are nothing but called as identifiers. Keywords. What are keywords? Now these keywords are those words which are given by a C programming language. Now keywords are not our words. Keywords are C programming language words. So if you're thinking that main is a keyword, yes, main is a keyword, right? Because it is given by C programming language, right? Like that, all the data types, int, float, double, string, char, these all are nothing but keywords, also called as predefined keywords. Thank you so much, Ananta Kumar, for liking and subscribing. Please, guys, if you're liking the session, please hit like and do subscribe the channel. You will get a lot of other courses and other half an hour sessions like this in the future. Any other question? Okay, can we pass argument in main function? Okay, so I'm not going to answer that right now because here many are freshers. Okay, many are beginners in coding. So the question, can we pass argument in main function, is a very tricky question and very tough question for those people. So let it be right now. The people who are very beginner in coding, you can note down this question somewhere, because when you will learn after 2 months or after 1 month, when you will be very fine with C programming language, then find the answer for this question. It's a very good question. Thank you so much, programming language, whoever is that. Okay. Let's move to constants. So what are constants? Constants are something which values can't be changed. Like pi. if some pi is nothing but 22 by 7, right? 3.14. That value can't change any time, right? So if you're finding the area of a circle, if you're writing a program on that, write a program in C language to find the area of a circle. Area of a circle, pi square. You have to use the variable pi there, right? You remember, you can't use the symbol pi. Computer languages don't know what is this pi symbol, okay? So you have to use a variable pi, and then give a value 3.14, and you have to make it constant, because otherwise later you should not be able to change the value, because pi values will never get changed. So those are called as constants. Then we have strings, sequence of characters, like my name Ritvik. So it's a sequence of character RITWIK, right? So it's also called as an array of character. It's also a string. Operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication. There are many other also, relational, logical. It's a very good concept in coding languages, operators. So if you guys are beginners, please go ahead and read this operator section very nicely and practice it, because once you learn operators, then in every other language the same operators will be used. Yes, so you have to just invest once in a while in the operator section, 2 hours, just that, and you'll be fine for all the languages, because in all the languages same operators are used: logical operator, bitwise operator, assignment operator, arithmetic operator, relational operator, conditional operator, ternary operator, right? These all are same in all programming languages. Special symbols, like in preprocessor directive, we used hashtag. So that is one preprocessor, that is one special symbol. If you will not use hashtag, then C programming language or compiler will not be able to understand what you're trying to say. So you have to put hashtag. What would be the next step after learning basics of C? Okay, so first of all, when you are picking one particular programming language, which is C language, complete the basic concepts and then start moving into the advanced topics. Okay, and after moving into the advanced topics, do one project based on C language. Small project, mini project kind of thing. You can get it in various platforms, YouTube, or many other platforms are there. If you want to go to Great Learning Academy, go there. We also have that. And then later on, after doing that one project, go and learn C++. And like that, keep evolving yourself with all programming languages. Okay. Meanwhile, you can also find a job in C language, so that you will get a personal experience working in the backend, right? That's a very big thing. If you get a experience in C language while earning and while learning, it's a great choice. Okay, now let's see once again what is variable and how do we write it. These theory things I'm just keeping it off. Variable is nothing but to hold a value. So any container kind of thing in which the value is kept and we are naming that container something, that is nothing but a variable, right? So if I've written int a equal to 10, int double b equal to 20.0. So a is the variable, a container in which 10 is the value and a is the variable name. Then what is int? Is the type of data. What type of data I have given to that container? Is it solid? Is it liquid? Is it gas? So is it integer? Is it float? Is it double? What is it? So it's an integer. 10 is an integer. So that's why I've written int. 20.0 is decimal. So in programming languages, for denoting decimal numbers, we have two things: float and decimal. Float is for shorter decimal values and double is for longer decimal values. I know I have written here double. Even if the 20.0 is a shorter decimal value, that's fine, no problem. You can write here float also, no problem, right? Now quickly let's understand this particular programming, this particular coding, and then we'll finish off the session. And I'll also take 2 questions from the chat. Now, if you look at this particular code, what is written? Int a equal to 10, double b equal to 20.0, right? Now printf, I am printing %d, %lf. What is that? Now let's understand. Printf means print format. So there's a format to print something. So if I take %d, that means in that place only one digit will come. %lf means only a long float will come. So a value is 10. That's a digit. It'll come there. Long float means double. I told you, float is for shorter decimal value and double is for longer decimal value. So long float will come B. B is having long float value, which is 20.0. So it'll come there. And then again, the answer will be 30.0. That is also a long float, which is a double. So that is why I've written here percentage LF. So A plus B is an operator, plus is an operator. So I am saying to the computer, to the compiler, that please add these two values. Whatever answer will come, put it in percentage LF portion. So your answer will be 10 plus 20.0 equal to 30.0. That is what it will print. Okay. Now you will say, why for double I have not written percentage D? Because for percentage D we already have said that digit will be there, right? Then if I again write percentage D for double, I am understanding. But computer is not understanding that it is double, right? He will get confused whether it is for digit or double. That is why instead of writing percentage D, we have written percentage LF, long float. One question I can see here, sir, can we learn two languages at a time? I'll say if you're a beginner and a fresher, don't do that. You will get confused. Okay. Take one particular language and please go ahead with that. Then other languages will be very easy for you to, understand the concepts. If you're starting with C language, it'll take around 1 month or 40 days, right? Now, if you move to another language, it will take around 15 days to 20 days because all other half of the concepts you have already know. For loop, conditional statements, looping, cooperators, these all things are very common in all the languages. So you will not waste time. It will be a very quick thing. So spend larger amount of time in one programming language, and then other programming languages will not take much time. And where is void here? Okay, so in this coding I have not used void. See, that's what I said. If you will use void, then it's a no return type, so it will not return anything. So that's why I've not used void here, because I want to return something. So I've used here int main. When I use int, I told you if you use any other data type, it will return something. So can you see? I'm returning 0. Return 0. So if I'm using here void, suppose if I use here void main, then I don't have to write return 0. So then your coding lines will be less, right? Right now it is taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. But when I write void, it will take 7 lines. It depends, right? It matters a lot. So if you want to write void main, you can write void main, but then you have to remove return 0 because void will not return anything. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. It was a very great session. You guys were very interactive. All the questions were coming up, and thank you for liking and subscribing. If you have not done, please hit like and subscribe the channel, and I'll meet you very soon in the next sessions. So if you want to keep an update on what all courses and sessions are coming up by Great Learning, so please hit that bell icon also so that you can get the notifications. Thank you so much, guys. Tata, bye bye, and happy new year.